You started off the year so well. Vision board, check. Healthy eating, check. Workout, check. Decluttering, check. Morning and night routine, double check. You just knew you were gonna kill it with your goals. And somehow we are almost in July and you are like, ooh, child, I have no clue where the time went. Because you feel like you're in the exact same place that you started on January 1st. Not quite the plan, but it's okay. We're gonna chat about how to maximize these next 6 months so that by the end of the year, you look back and you say, I did that. Welcome back to my channel, my friends, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Christy and I make content centered around realizing no matter where we are in life, no matter our age, we are just on time to live the life of our dreams. And first off, we just finished our Show Up Summer 60. So you gotta tell me the truth. Did you or did you not complete all the things you were supposed to do? Let me know in the comments how you did and be honest. I'm gonna be real with you. I did not complete everything perfectly, but I'm okay with that. And the reason I am okay with that is because this challenge was intended to be something to keep my mind in the game and to hopefully help you keep your mind on whatever goals that you're trying to achieve as well. We get so excited by the beginning of the year, but as soon as weeks roll around and we get into February, March, April, things just start to die down a little bit. And sometimes we just need something in between to get us over that hump until we can really refocus again on whatever those goals are. For me, the challenges help to keep my head in the game so that even if I'm going through a season where things are really busy and I can't put maximum focus to all of the things I want to achieve, then at least I am still doing something. At least I'm still showing up for myself in all of those key areas. And so my goal wasn't to be perfect, but it was to start habits that kept me moving in the right direction. And it did that. As I'm recording this, July is like 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away. And we literally have 6 months left in this year. Like, where did it go? This is a great time to reevaluate where we are with our goals, with our intentions, and where we want to be. So how do we maximize the rest of this year? First, I'm gonna go through with you my 4-step process for being able to maximize and achieve my goals for the rest of the year. And then I'm gonna show you what that looks like through an example of my own life with one of the goals that I'm working to achieve. So step 1 is to take inventory of where you've been. When we're taking inventory of where we've been, we first wanna think about what are the things that have gone well, and then what are the things that haven't gone so well. I like to start out with the things that have gone well first because it's so easy for us to see the things that we're not doing well. It's so easy for us to say, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this. And then we forget all of the accomplishments that we actually have made. So I first like to start out with what has actually gone well. Did you start or continue a workout routine? Did you change your eating habits somehow? If you're wanting to be an entrepreneur, did you start planning for that business? If you say wanted to read a book every month, did you do that? Did you do something toward your dream life? Think about all of the successes that you had over this period of time. Maybe your success was, I just made it and I didn't give up. I showed up a little bit for myself every single day. It may not necessarily have been perfect, but I showed up for myself. When we spend time thinking about our successes and actually reflecting on the things that have gone well, they give us that boost we need to keep moving forward and allow us to be able to push ourselves even more. Once we do that, we then want to think about what's not gone so well. For example, did you intend to declutter your closet, but you never got around to it? Once you identify what those things are, then think about why those things didn't go so well. I firmly believe that once we understand our why behind things, then we can figure out what to do moving forward. But if we don't understand why we're making the choices that we make or why we are not doing the things that we say are important to us, then we never really get to the root of the problem and we can never actually fix it. After taking inventory, the next thing that we want to do is reevaluate our goals. Now, this goes a little bit deeper than taking inventory. I think of taking inventory as more of a temperature check of what did I do? What did I not do? Why did this happen? Really briefly. When we're reevaluating our goals, we're actually unpacking things a little bit more deeply. So here you may be going back to your vision board, or you might be going back to a list of goals that you wrote for yourself, and you're thinking, all right, which of these goals have I met? Are they still valid? Are they still things that you want to do? Do you still have a why connected to doing these things? Or are they just something that sounded really good at the beginning of the year, but now you don't really have any connection to them anymore? Can you meet those goals? If not, were they too ambitious? Are you no longer motivated toward that thing? Is there something that you want to add instead or replace one of those goals with? After reevaluating your goals, the next step is to actually pull out 1 to 3 of them. We're going to go through this process of asking ourselves probing questions again, and then make a plan for what we're going to do for the rest of the year in order to meet them. So we're going to itemize what exactly the things are that we're going to do. What habits do we need to implement on a daily and weekly basis? Also, how are we going to treat ourselves when we meet that goal? And then the fourth step is to follow the plan. It sounds really simple, but sometimes that is the hardest step, is to put the follow through of the thing that we have decided that we're going to do. So like I mentioned, I am going to show you what this looks like with a goal that I set for myself at the beginning of the year. So one of my goals has been to lose like this last 10 pounds to feel like my best self. Like I feel confident, I feel good, I look good, but I'm carrying like 10 pounds that I'm not 100% comfortable with. And so that's what I want to do. So I mentioned in step 3 to figure out 1 to 3 goals that you really want to lean in and focus on. And so this is one of mine. And then we're going to go back through that process, steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 of what that's going to look like. So taking inventory of where I have been with that goal, I am so proud of myself because throughout the challenge, throughout the Show Up Summer 60 challenge, I did so many things that I wanted to do, and it stayed in my head on an everyday basis, where I was drinking more water. I was getting up and I was drinking water before I was drinking coffee. I was moving on a daily basis. I was getting in my 10,000 steps, if not every day, most days of the week. So I had a plan that I was following and that I was doing more days than I wasn't doing it. But then what didn't go so well? To be completely honest, there were times where I just got really lazy with it because I didn't feel like doing it. There were points in the year where I wasn't feeling super motivated toward it just because I had some other things going on. And I mentioned this in the previous video, but you have to stay motivated in order to stay disciplined. Motivation doesn't mean that I'm always excited about it or that I'm always looking forward to it. Motivation just means that my why is so strong that it propels me to be disciplined toward that thing. And there were just things that were going on where my why for losing these 10 pounds just wasn't as strong. I just didn't feel like doing it. Now that it's summer, I now have time and energy to reprioritize this goal and in a way where it doesn't stress me out. Before, it was stressing me out because I didn't want to think about being in a calorie deficit. I was just not in the space where I wanted to focus on it. And we have to call a spade, and I'm okay doing that with myself. So that was where I was. But now I am. And just as a quick aside, because I am relatively small anyway, trying to lose 10 pounds is like trying to freaking fly to the moon. Like it has been so difficult. And I know for me that it means that there's a place that I have to go to. And throughout the first 6 months, I was just like, I don't feel like going there. I don't have the mental space to do that. Now that it is summer, I actually do. So I've taken inventory of it. Now I'm reevaluating that goal. Have I met it? No, not yet. But can I meet it? Absolutely, 100%. It is within my ability to be able to do it. Is it something that's still valid where I have a strong why connected to it? Yes. These past 6 months, there were moments where I had it, but not consistently. Now my mind is so hyper focused on it that my why is back there, and it allows me to dig in that space that I know I need to dig into to stay focused on this goal. So now I need to create the plan for what I need to do. I am daily getting in my 10,000 steps, and I am daily getting up in the mornings to do it. I know that I am most successful in my fitness when I get up in the morning, and that is one of the first things I do. When I start thinking about, oh, I'll get this in later today, blah, 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 then I know I am getting a bit removed from my fitness goals. So getting in my daily 10,000 steps and taking that walk in the morning, I've been doing that. My next thing is to work out 3 to 4 times a week, like an actual lifting session. And I've been doing that with my Train Well workouts. That has been, I feel like I've talked about that so much, but that has been such a huge game changer for me because I don't feel like I'm doing it on my own, and I don't feel like I'm doing things haphazardly. And that was probably one of the things that also kind of kicked my butt into gear. And so that's been super helpful for me, and I've been really consistent with that. The other thing is to close the rings on my Apple Watch. Now, I have no clue whether or not it is completely accurate. If I am burning 700 calories when I do XYZ, it doesn't really matter. What it's an indication of is, have I been active throughout the day? If I look at my watch and it says that by 9 p.m., I've only burned like 200 calories, that is a really good indication to me that I haven't really done much. So my goal is to close those rings and to be as active as possible, because now that it's summer, there's no real reason for me not to be as active as I can and to enjoy moving my body a bit more. Food wise, I'm focusing on protein and veggies. I am not focusing on counting calories calories. I know I need to be in a caloric deficit. I also relatively know what that looks like because I have done it, but mentally, that's just not the space that I want to be in. I just want to focus on fueling my body in the way that it needs, and that is through getting mostly protein and veggies. What that does is it automatically cuts out me going out to eat a lot because bought out foods typically just don't have that much protein. A sandwich that I get from Panera, I can make the same thing at home with almost twice the amount of protein. So that is something that I'm doing. And then the other habit that I'm really implementing with this goal is focusing on each day. I have a tendency to get really overwhelmed when I try to think of the whole big picture of this is where I need to be in like 3 months. I can't really focus on what's happening 3 months down the road. All I can focus on is what am I doing each day to be able to meet my goals, and each day celebrating, wow, I did this, I did this, I did this. Yes, go Christy. That is what I do. And I feel really intrinsically motivated toward making sure that I'm following the process and knowing that eventually it's going to lead to my goal. So how am I going to treat myself when I meet my goal? I already have it in my head. I'm going to get me some cute little workout shorts from Lululemon. The last time I went into Lululemon, I cried. I was like, this is not my size. This is not where I want to be. Lululemon, why did you make these clothes smaller? This is not my size. But it was. So that is what I am going to do. But also I am going to make this video about how I lost those 10 pounds. I'm so excited to be able to share that because it's something that I have been talking about, and I know what have been the stumbling blocks for me. I know what have been the things that have been standing in my way. So I'm just really excited to finally put this goal to bed and not take this into 2025. No, I'm not doing that. So that is my plan for my losing this 10 pounds goal that I have. So what you would do is you would go through that exact same process for whatever goals that you have, but limit it to 1 to 3 goals. And these are things that you know that you can realistically achieve within the next 6 months, but for whatever reason, you just haven't done it. At the beginning of the year, we see all of this time in front of us, and it's natural for us to say,
okay, I want to do everything.
But as we start to get into the year, and now we're at this point where we have 6 months left, we really want to drill down into the things that are most important to us. And it's at this time of the year that we know what are the things that I don't want to take into next year. What are the things that I want to make sure that I have completed by the end of the year that will make me proud of myself. So that's what we're doing. I love a good mid-year refresh because it really brings back into focus the things that we want to do. If you said at the beginning of the year that I'm going to make XYZ happen, it's time to go ahead and start making that thing happen. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a comment below. Let me know what is something that you are working to accomplish over these next 6 months. Also, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? I'm gonna need you to jump on that. Alrighty guys, I love you and I'll see you in my next. Bye for now.